Right, I don't know if these noises that are coming into the house and from next door to next door where they're pulling down or have pulled down a house. But it's interesting that won't come out in the mobile, but the house next door makes a sound when the sound comes from where they're doing the construction. That just shows that, it's everyone and everything that's involved in this control, mind control matrix, because they control the matrix or the reality or even the local area by controlling the human being or the human mind or a real human being, And can you hear the beeping noise coming from this end of the house? Beeping noise coming from this end of the house while I'd like to film the pigeons out there, but it's far too noisy. While the other noise is coming from this end of the house, even though it's on and off, and don't forget they can turn it on or off at will. Now, just while I'm here, I'm just going to show this old movie. Not because I want to show the old movie, but because I want to show the difference in the size of the actual Android physical difference between the two different people. As you can see, this is a very old movie, so this makes the point that it's not new, even though we talk about things a lot more these days. In other words, like right now, everyone talks about this, that and everything, and everyone can be anything they want, and, we don't have to be the normal little romantic couple like here at all. But even back in this old movie, as you can see, black and white and quite old, that is the boy. See this is just a good example of it. Oh, wait on. I'll have to wind it back. This is not live on the TV. I'll have to wind it back because it's gone just where they're separate from the but that's the and they're doing the one-eyed symbolism in this movie too, if you can see it quite distinctly in this very old movie even, because nothing has changed. It's all the same time. But there is noise coming from this end of the house. Not at the moment, but then noise coming from this end. In other words, because I was in this part before I turned the mobile on, is the mobile picking it up? Is it loud enough? sound frequencies loud enough for the mobile? They should be, because they're loud enough for my ears. They could drive a human being completely out of balance or technically insane if you want to look at it. Certainly you're not stable or in your right calm state of mind with all this racket going on day after day, month after month, year after year. Some days worse than others, but that depends on your mood. The minute you start to feel even remotely okay, they turn the sound up with their fake, staged, set up, completely controlled by the human mind, work being done, people being around, everything, basically everything. And it's all timed to a split second, without a doubt. I could prove this, I prove it to myself every day, even though I don't want to prove it to myself, because it's a disturbing reality. One part of the house. Now I'm coming to the other bit. See, they're trying to stop me from making the point about the head size on this old video, you see. That's why they did that. The head size of the two romantic couple here. That is the girl. See? The larger than life, beautiful head there. And that is the boy. Maybe larger than life in the image and in the acting, but that one is smaller than that one. Is it not? It's very obvious in this couple, but it is always the case in every movie and all actors. I hope I'm picking it up, probably not. But it is always the case, even though sometimes it will be significantly more obvious than others. That's why, you know, if I had time to think about it and could go through a lot of movies or even a lot of music artists, their different movie idols and icons, you can show it very clearly with some more than others, but it is still always there. It's just that it is not as obvious in some, but it's always a difference, and it's always the reverse of what is a normal, natural human, okay? And they turn this sound up and down at will. It was just louder before I opened the door. If I open the door, they can turn it down, because they're reading the human mind and the human vibration instantly. That's how far gone this earth is now gone into technology and with the takeover. You know, it's always been the case that we've had different, you know, we've had the predator and prey, more or less, situation. If you look at it in the animal kingdom, where you have like the predators dominating the prey, if the prey isn't in large numbers and isn't aware and isn't protecting itself, but you know, that's putting it the way it is, but having to make it sound dramatic. But it actually isn't dramatic, it's actually the case, because one lot of species is draining and feeding off another species. And the human being is actually the creator of the reality, and yet they're being preyed on, controlled and suppressed and completely subdued and taken over by the predator species, the android artificial beings. That's the best way I can describe it, because see the big truck looming right in front of me there as soon as I peek around. But see, the minute I close the door, they can turn that sound up. The mobile won't pick it up though unless I open the door, but my ears are picking it up. It's completely vibrating through the house and through my head, and really loud. And really loud yesterday too. Like I actually, it was loud before I stuffed stuff in my ears, but when I stuffed stuff in my ears, they turned it up even more. I noticed that I could hear it significant, because they have to get to you. But this depends on if your mood is changing, or in other words, if you are trying to feel okay. That's what it comes down to. Just hold on for a second, I'm just trying to adjust the TV here. I could pick a lot of movies to show the difference of the difference physically between the android species or type human. When I say type human, they're not human, they are an android. That means they're artificially conceived, made, and they're only like a robot advanced intelligence. So they're an artificially very advanced form of intelligence in a clone-like human body. That's the best way I can describe it, because obviously I don't understand technology. But I see it, and the information I get from the androids themselves off the computer, because they have to inform human beings. This is something that I was aware of very early on when the Matrix opened up and came down on me. I became very aware that the information has always been given to us, because it has to be. Because obviously, although the God entity, the artificial number one being since early on, or since early on when the earth was the original natural earth was first made, and I know I'm talking over my head here, so I could have some things wrong, but essentially I think it's basically so. That the artificial number one demigod, and when I say demigod, that means second to one, or it's a bit like second, third, fourth, fifth in command, that type of thing, that where they're not like you could say there are many gods, but it depends on how you look at things. But if you look at it that supposing you look at it this way, that there's an original God that created everything, or creates everything from scratch, but then they create there could be like it's a bit like in this world where we have robots doing work. Robots now make machines even. I've seen this where robots make cars and things, as opposed to human beings making them like they would have originally. So it's like that, except that if you have robots where, that's right, where they're using intelligence and downloading human thought, human ideas, and even human personalities and the whole deal, so that they can basically create their own reality and control it and have dominion over it. That's basically it. They make me look screwy because I'm running from one side of the place to the other as they change the sound levels, but by the time I get to the, by the time I move from point A to point B, they've turned it down, so it's like that. I think I better fold up. I think I've lost my train of thought. I was originally talking about the how you can tell the difference between a real life, when I say, or have a reasonable way of just physically just looking at the human body, and you can tell the difference. But the thing is, you won't be able to tell the difference in general, because it's only a minor difference most of the time. Not always, but a lot of the time it's only a small difference between the physical size of and the physical proportions of the human body, whether it be, without me sounding as though I'm an expert and big noting myself here. I'm not. I've got this from others, and then I've checked it out, because I already knew there was a difference in the mind of the people. I just didn't understand that you need a duality body as part of the, being an android. Androids don't usually have the same proportions in their human body, because they emulate their God, and the God entity is a duality, two-faced, one-eyed. One-eyed means all or nothing. You see it my way, you do it my way. It's a controlling God. It's a demanding to be worshipped God, because that was the iniquity and the problem that started from the beginning of the earth, was the inability of this particular demigod to submit or to want to serve the natural human creator being that was placed in the original natural earth. That was the problem right from the beginning, as some denominations or some religious beliefs will tell you. I have never really went along these lines most of my life, but I now see it to be fact. So it's not like I've held any of these beliefs. I have come to this facing the reality, just looking for the basic truth of things because of my own personal situation. But like I say, the proportions of everything from the size of the head down to the proportions of the body, even though the body may be man-woman or man or woman, the proportions will not be the same as a natural-born man-woman, not in an android clone-type body, because it's all done through it's all done through artificial insemination, if you know what I mean. And I'm sounding smart here, but we know that that is how many people conceive anyway. But that's putting it dramatically, because it is an artificial way that creation of the android takes place. A bit like the creation of, an artificially intelligent robot. Except that, because the technology is advanced beyond my comprehension, and because my mind has been closed off from me to where I'm unaware of what has taken place, or unaware of myself and unaware of the past, present and future, even though a human being should be totally conscious of all these things. But when you are in this mind control earth matrix, for what I can see, the deal is that your mind is closed off. Now, whether that is voluntary or involuntary, I can't say. But I'm guessing that much of it becomes a lot more involuntary. In other words, it's a bit like the process of when you're born, you become conditioned and you change your mind about lots of things because of what society or what is around you tells you, or if you want to look at it, programs you to, and the program then becomes your reality. You believe it. If you believe something, you think it's real. You don't always even verify it, and you may not have all the facts or enough information to dispute what is in front of you. And why would you if you think the world is a natural random world largely too? You'd only question some things that you think maybe are questionable, or that you might think you have some control over, or that can change or something. But a lot of things you would take to be fact, even though you yourself have not really verified them. You will take the words of experts, or I've not been outside of my own country. So everything I know about another country all over the world is what I have seen on the computer screen, or on a TV screen, or on a screen, or information that other people would tell me. And I don't really know if that information firsthand with my own eyes is correct. And don't forget, your eyes deceive you too, because this is a mind control matrix. So everything that is around me, that's when you become aware of it, when they open up and close down on you. You know that everything around you is largely hypnotizing you and controlling your mind. You're unaware of it. The flickering lights that they put on the screens on the TVs now becomes very obvious to me. I find it sometimes even a bit intolerable. But before I was aware of it, I was quite conditioned to it. Where they flicker, that's hypnotising you. It puts you into a state to where they can put what they want on the screen, and it goes straight into your head and you believe it. You become unaware that you're being unconsciously hypnotised. I'm aware of it now because I get disturbed by the flickering. It's become much more pronounced. They've steadily increased that too, I think, over time on the TV screen, or on any screen. But anyway, I don't think I can concentrate enough to go on, to be honest, so I better fold up. I have to say good day or something.